everybody, I'm Dodger, and this is not a news video. It's been like 3 weeks of me sitting down to make news episodes and going, God, I don't want to do this. So instead, I'm going to sit here and tell you all of the reasons why you should be reading Super Sons. For real. That's rubbing up against the microphone. That's gotta sound beautiful. So yeah, I recently got back into DC, and I'm the sort of person who drops in and drops out on Western comics quite a bit. I feel like a lot of people that I know who are in their late 20s, early 30s, tend to just wait until volumes come out now, which kind of sucks. We're not all up to date on what's going on, you know? We don't all know exactly what's happening in the stories as they're happening, but it's always really fun to just come back into it and read all of the volumes that you've missed and all of the issues that you've missed for some kind of a series that you care a lot about, right? And I've always really loved the Bat family. Not necessarily Batman. I don't necessarily always care about him at all. But I just love this weird family dynamic that he has with all of these children that he's collected. So, you know, I'm laying in bed, trolling around on Instagram, like you do. And I stumbled onto the artist while I was looking at Robins. Don't worry about it. I was just looking at Robins, you know, all the Robins. And I stumbled onto the artist for Super Sons, and I'm so sorry, Jorge, I don't know how to say your last name. I feel so bad. Jorge Jimenez, or Jimenez? I don't know. I'm honestly not sure how to pronounce it, but he is dope. Super, super good art, right? So I realized, like, oh, he's the actual comic book artist for this new series called Super Sons. Currently there's 7 issues out, and judging by me doing what I do, which is I get super into something, read or ingest as much of it as I can, and then go, okay, what's the fandom doing? There's like nobody really talking about Super Sons. Like, there are little pockets of people who are talking about it, and there are pockets of people who are reading it, but it's not very big, and that blew my mind because it's so wholesome. Like, it's just so, oh my God. Let me set the scene for you. So for any of you who haven't been in the DC like universe for a while, or have never been in the DC universe, but you know who Superman and Batman are, I hope. Superman has a son, and Batman has a son. Oh yeah, Connor Kent and Tim Drake. Got it. No, not them. Not them. Put them away. Oh, Connor. What is Connor doing now? The legal dispute over him? Oh my God, I need to read this later. Anyways, so yeah, not Connor and not Tim Drake, none of the adopted Robins, none of those sweet babs, and not any of Superman's clones or any of the alternate Supermans from other universes, which, by the way, currently the Superman that's in the universe that they're following is from a different universe, and our actual Superman is dead and nobody mentions it, and it's super weird. Anyways, so Superman and Lois Lane have had a child. They named him Jonathan. It is adorable. And so they've got a little Johnny Kent, little Superboy. And he's currently, as of Super Sons, he is 10 years old. And he's just the sweetest, preciousest bab in the whole world, right? Like, imagine Superman and how just, you know, gung-ho Superman is about saving everybody and all that kind of stuff. That's Johnny straight up. Meanwhile, you've got Damian Wayne, who is the like blood child of Bruce Wayne and Talia al Ghul and was raised with the League of Assassins, and I'm trying really hard to not curse in this video, but it's difficult when I start to describe the sort of personality that Damian has. He's such a there's no words. Damian is a little egotistical braggart of a child. He likes to show off. He likes everybody to know how intelligent he is. He has sort of the same, like, where Tim was always really, really intelligent. He's very intelligent in a lot of ways. And he's just like, he's insufferable. He's like story-wise, right? Like, everybody who deals with him is just like, what is wrong with you? You're so much to handle. But throughout the story up until this point, like, Bruce has become this rock in his life, and he's learned to sort of follow the moral code of his dad while continuing to be very much Damian, right? So my problem with both Superman and Batman is when like New 52 happened, right? I started reading Batman and Robin right when it started, and I kept up with it for a little while. But Batman overall is very dark, and the Batman and Robin series from the New 52 is honestly incredible. There are really, really, really good story arcs in there. A lot of character development happens, but it's very dark, right? Meanwhile, the Superman that was running like right alongside it is just the goof troop. It's like, it's not, there's almost nothing serious going on in it ever. It's just very like, we're a family doing fun stuff, and like, what, are those dinosaurs? It's bizarre. But through like the combination of these two very different universes in terms of their own like storylines, Damian and Johnny wound up meeting each other and becoming friends. But the way that they interact is hilarious. It's so funny because Johnny is so sweet. He's such a sweet boy. And Damian is just... But I mean, I would like to also follow all of this up by saying, if you know me at all and you know my taste in characters, you will not be surprised when I say I love Damian. I love him so much. He's my sweet son. I love him. I love every time he irritates everybody. It's amazing. So Super Sons is like this perfect middle ground for me, where I'm not always in the mood for the super, super dark aspects of the Batman series. I'm not always wanting the really campy sort of, you know, lightheartedness of Superman. Even when there's serious stuff going on in Superman, it doesn't feel as like meaty as Batman does. You know, they're just very, very different properties, even though they intersect constantly. And Super Sons, I think, is such a good balance. The fight scenes in it are drawn so well. Like, every time something really cool happens, you're like, that looked really cool, right? Like, the art is just really, really good. The way that they're characterized is fantastic. And at this point, Damian is also part of the Teen Titans. So the Teen Titans in the last couple of issues have shown up, and you're like, oh, it's Starfire, and oh, it's Beast Boy, and oh, I love them all so much. But the reason that I said, I think I said it, the reason that I said earlier that it's just very wholesome is that it's like following this kid who is really, really, really messed up, and him like learning to have friends, and then this kid who's just really, really, really sweet and wants to help and like do good work, but needs to learn how serious it is to be a hero, you know? And like that cool balance. Again, there's only been 7 issues, right? Like, they fly by. But that balance is so fun to read. And I just love, I don't know, it's just every single issue I'm like, aw. Oh man, but y'all, if you want to read some really good Batman stuff, you got to read that New 52 Batman and Robin. It's so good. Specifically, oddly enough, specifically the Joker stuff in there is really, really good. And okay, wait, side tangent. Okay, so when I would read, don't mock me, when I used to collect and religiously read the Sonic the Hedgehog comic books, right? If something happened that there was no frame of reference for, they would have a little bloop-a-doop, right? Like a little bloop with an asterisk that said, see issue blah blah blah. See that Knuckles mini-series where we met all of his family members and then they went to the Shadow Zone. Spoilers. See issue 750 of Sonic the Hedgehog. Whatever. It always told you where you needed to go in order to have a frame of reference for what was going on in the story, right? And as a kid, I always thought to myself, man, that's cool. I wish that it was easier for me to get those issues if I don't already have them, right? And they would have, I think that this is like an obsolete thing too, but maybe not. They would have pages in every single issue where you could mark which issues you were missing. So say that I was, this is such a weird tangent I'm going on, but I have to just like get it out there in the world. Say that I was reading issue 50 of Sonic the Hedgehog, and I didn't get to the grocery store in time, didn't have a comic book shop, I grew up in the middle of nowhere. I didn't get to the grocery store in time to get the Sonic issue that was like number 45 or whatever, and so I missed like a really important story bit, and I have number 44, I have number 46, but I don't know what happened in there. Every issue would have like a page inside that was like, hey, are you missing any issues? Like, just mark which ones you need, and then include a check, and we'll ship them to you. Which was like a crazy lifesaver, but you couldn't access things that were certain ways back, right? Like, if I was on issue 100, I couldn't still order issue 1. There was no way I could do that. But they would, any of the ones that were nearby or any of the mini series that were happening at the same time, they would allow you to like order for yourself. And that was like how those meanwhiles worked, or how those like asterisks, those side notes worked was, oh, you don't know what's going on here? Here's the issue. And then you would flip to the page, and then you would say, apparently I need this issue, right? It blows my mind. It blows my mind that I can't, that was probably very loud, that I can't, they haven't figured out how to do that digitally yet? What? Every time I read a comic that's part of a series, and something happens where I'm not entirely sure what's going on, they've either stopped putting the asterisks in altogether, or they'll say, oh, you should read like this, but no idea of how to get to it. And I'm like, all of this is digital now. All of this is digital now. Like, I read all of my comics on my phone. All of them. I read all of my comics on my phone now. You can't hyperlink me? It blows my mind. It absolutely blows my mind that they can't be like, ah, yes, remember when Talia did this really messed up thing? And then they stare at the camera, and I'm like, you're staring at me, but I don't know what you want me to do. What they want me to do is they want me to go back to issue whatever of actual Batman instead of Batman and Robin, and read like this like part. Send me there. Hyperlink me. I got really heated about this yesterday, and I had no one to talk to about it. I was talking with Octo about it, and he was like, yeah, they should put a little blip. Yeah, you're right, you know, because Octo's sweet. And I was like, I just want to be angry. So here you go, audience. There's me being angry about comic books, but not Super Sons, because Super Sons is perfect. Yeah, you should all read it. I really, really want this series to do well, because I think that, again, it bridges the tones of the two series really well, and the art is fantastic, and I just love watching these sweet young boys, like, learn to be heroes like their dads. Oh, stop it. It's really cute, and I hope you all give it a shot. I've been reading it on the DC app, which is pretty good, but I know you can also read it on Comixology. The DC app directly connects to Comixology, which is really bizarre to me, but I don't do that. I just read it on the DC app, and I haven't connected the two. But yeah, it works really well. It does the like strange dynamic thing. Hold on. Hold. So like, here's the first issue of Super Sons, right? And it has like this little bloop-a-doop at the bottom. You can't even see that. There's a bloop. I just want you to be aware so that you're not confused the way that I was. They try to do kind of a dynamic reading thing with comic apps now, where they focus on like one panel at a time, and you like flip through panels instead of pages. I don't really like that. I turn it off so that I just read the page. So if it seems like it's weird, it might have that on, so just keep that in mind. Anyway, yeah, there you go. Go watch Super Sons. Yeah, that's the one. Yep, nailed it. Just had a conversation with Sohinki where he was like, oh, are you making a video? And I was like, yeah, it was supposed to be news, but it's not going to be news. And he goes, oh, what are you making? And I was like, I'm going to yell at people until I read Super Sons. And he goes, you know what? At least you're passionate. So yeah, in closing, go read Super Sons. Let me know what you think, because it's great. And I don't know, stretch. When's the last time you stretched? Your limbs might need it. Maybe stretch a little bit. Stretch what you can. Eat something good. Eat like a good meal, right? Drink a lot of water. If you've been drinking tons of pop and you feel like you're not drinking enough water, maybe drink a bunch of water. And don't forget to take your pills. And then read Super Sons. Cool, great. Glad we're all on the same page. I'll see y'all later. And who knows? Who knows what I'm gonna make next? Cheers!